Life will kick you down. And throughout your life, you're going to have many challenges. And it's not important what challenges you're going to be facing. What's important is how you're going to get back up and what you're going to learn from those challenges. In my life, I've faced many challenges, and every single one of them has taught me a lot about myself and taught me great things and knowledge that I could apply for future challenges in my life. People oftentimes think stuff happens to them because of destiny, or it happens to them because they're not good enough. But you gotta realize that everybody goes through stuff in life. Everybody's gonna have his fair share of shit. And it's not always a problem in itself. What's the problem is failing to notice that something has to change and finding the right tools to change it. When you're facing a challenge, oftentimes there is a solution. Well, actually, there's always a solution. And you gotta look at challenges like a puzzle. If you think you're stuck, if you think you're trapped, if you think there's no way out, it's just because you don't see that missing puzzle piece among all the puzzle pieces on the ground. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to ask others for help and to accept that you're going through a struggle, because other people have that piece of puzzle and they'll make you see it. A lot of times we think that we're stuck, and this is what I would have to tell to anybody that feels this way. Reach out. Don't be afraid to ask people for help. My dad this year committed suicide, and it was something that was very tragic and terrible for the whole family. And he was from that old generation where he would keep everything inside. He felt trapped, he felt helpless, and for him that was the solution. Remember when he did his first try, he ended up in the hospital and he was still alive, and we were coming up with solutions to his problem as a family. And if we would have had the chance to put those solutions together before, he might have been still here today. People have this idea of happiness. They think that happiness is something that you get from things that you either achieve or stuff that you buy. And this couldn't be further from the truth. Happiness is something that resides in every one of us. We all have happiness inside. Our problem is that as we grow up, as we age, we attach that feeling of happiness to other things. We often compare ourselves to others. And by looking at others, we think we're lacking stuff. We think we don't have a big enough house, or we don't have a big enough car, or we're lacking a good relationship. We're lacking children. We're lacking all sort of things. And the truth is, you're not lacking anything. It's your ideals. It's your thought process. It's what's going on in your mind that makes you suffer. And if you can change that, if you can change your perception of things and how you see the world, you'll be a lot happier. If you ask a blind person how they go about their day, most of them will tell you that their day is a product of their imagination. They go out and about with ideas in their head and images that they create. And oftentimes they can create whatever images they want, which makes them happy nonetheless. Us, with our eyes, we're exposed to social medias, we're exposed to all sort of things. If I give you an example, if you walk outside on a dark, cloudy day, but the weather's very nice, you will think that it is a shitty day, that it's not beautiful outside. But the blind person that walks outside, if you describe to them that it's sunny and it's beautiful and there's birds around, he will think that it's one of the most beautiful days that he could ever walk out to. And my point being is that we often think that it's not the right weather, or it's not a beautiful day, because that's what we think. But the fact is that if we would change our thought process, we would be a lot happier, and we could actually enjoy the day, thinking that it's a beautiful day nonetheless and making the most of it. When I was 20 years old, I went through cancer, and it was a devastating experience. Cancer was very rough at 20 years old because it was testicular cancer, and in the matter of 5 days, I was on the operation table and they removed one testicle. What happened afterwards is that I was in bed trying to heal from that injury because they cut your abdominal muscle, and a lot went through my mind. I was all of a sudden in a slight depression, and I thought that my life would be very different from now on. What I failed to notice is that cancer was one of the most beautiful experience I could have went through. It taught me a lot about letting go of stress. It taught me about things that we think are bad in this life. When you get to the point that you have cancer or you get close to death, it makes you rethink that life is not that hard. Life is not that complicated. It's our own thoughts and our own self that makes it hard for everybody. So if you can change your mindset, you can change a lot. This year I went through depression after a lot of stressful things happened in my life. And going through depression has taught me to take it easy, take it slower, and appreciate the slightest thing, the things that I've totally disregarded and I forgot about. And it was a total transformational experience that I can cherish now. I think that going through depression was very beautiful, even though it was one of the hardest things I went through in my life. It's the one experience, that and cancer, that taught me the most about myself. Oftentimes we think that we have to live life according to what others are telling us. We constantly compare one another, and we think that this is how we measure ourselves to the world. But this is not true. Life can be whatever you want. You are the one who decides what your story is, and you only. For example, one of my best friends was studying as a mechanical engineer, and when he finished his university degree, he decided to pursue his own business. His family members, dad, mom, were telling him, do something with your life, go get a job. But he decided to sell his Honda Accord for, I believe, $5,000. And with that money, he started off his own business. For many months, he was working in the basement of his parents, being judged by his surrounding, his family members, friends. People were telling him that he was a loser, that he was just playing video games downstairs. And meanwhile, he was working silently to build his empire. He created his first product at the age of 26, invested his $5,000 from his car, and got it out on the market. Today, he is the business owner of Iron Bull Strength, one of the most established and getting bigger and bigger company in the fitness industry. He made his first million at 29 years old. As he was getting more successful, people were reaching out to him, people that were judging him before, asking him for tips, for help, wanting to invest with him in certain projects, wanting his insight. And he remembered what they did and how they judged him, and then he never associated with them. Bottom line of the story is that you can create your own life. You don't need to pursue the model that everyone is led to believe, that you go to high school, then you go to college or university and you get a job. Your life can be whatever you want it to be. Think of it as you being the superhero of your own movie. It starts off being maybe complicated and hard, like any superhero movie. But as it goes, you battle every challenges that comes your way, and you come out of it stronger and stronger. For people out there that thinks that life is hard, I want you to rethink everything I said and realize that life is beautiful. There is many ways that you can enjoy all sort of experiences with your loved ones and your friends, and you don't need to stress over small details. To come back to what I was saying about happiness, people often associate happiness to all sort of things. For some people, it might be the thrill that they get out of different sexual partners. For others, it might be drugs that they consume. Others, it can be alcohol. Others, it can be, a fast experience or roller coasters or thrill-seeking experience. But what they fail to notice is that those experiences are just an altered state of your mind, a rush of dopamine. When you associate happiness to that rush of dopamine, Well, what happens is that your brain always brings that dopamine down to neutral. So you're constantly seeking another rush. Therefore, you're never happy because you believe that happiness is that rush when it's not. What those experiences are just experiences. They're altered states of mind. When you realize that and you come back to your own self, you realize that happiness starts from within yourself. And if you look inside of yourself, you'll realize that you have everything to succeed in life. There's anything that you can do it. What I would say is that people are the product of the 5 people that surrounds them. If you want to become something in your life, you have to associate with people that are on the same level. If you stay with losers and people that don't have ambitions like yourself, you'll be stuck around them, dragging you down and making you believe that what they are doing and the lifestyle they're living is the way to go. I would suggest that if ever you want to know more about a certain thing, just go to a seminar. If you want to know more about business, pick the brain of business owners. If you want to be better at a sport, hang out with people that play that sport and are good at it. In life, you can be whatever you want. If you look at gold medalists in the Olympics, they don't become gold medalists by sitting down and wishing. And that's the problem with people today. They wish to become something, or they wish that life will just change on its own. And the thing is, if you want to achieve something, you have to have consistency. As Tony Robbins was saying, you are the product of your consistent efforts. And I truly believe that. If you put a lot of efforts towards something, there is no way that it cannot go in the right direction, or at least get closer to it. People always say that successful people are lucky, but there is no luck in life. Those people worked hard to get to where they are. While you might have been hanging out with friends on the weekend, drinking beer, or just playing video games or whatnot, those people were hiding and building their empire, consistently working on improving their business. And this is the difference between someone that's successful, like a business owner or a gold medalist. They consistently apply efforts towards getting somewhere, and they get there. People go to the casino and play slots machine or table games or whatnot, and they believe that luck will fall upon them. And it might. But if you apply those kind of efforts and time and dedication in your life, you'll realize that life doesn't work like a casino. You are a lot more lucky in life than you can ever be at a casino. And if you push for something, you'll get there. My top trick is get a list out and write your goals. Start with your biggest goal and then divide that into smaller subsequent goals and then really short-term goals. Every morning when you wake up, try to achieve the smallest goal possible, and slowly but surely you're going to get towards your bigger goals. This is the key to getting somewhere. You can't just wake up and wish things to change, because they won't change on their own. It's kind of foolish to think that if you wake up and do the same routine over and over again, that your situation will change. Every situation is changeable, and if you're unhappy in your life with a certain area, just change it. Start applying some effort in that area. There are many areas in life, and the more you're going to apply efforts to one of them, the better that area will improve. So if you look at your areas in your life and there's something that's not going right, or something that's not totally perfect to you, start applying efforts there. It could be your relationship that's not working the way you want. Applying efforts there will actually improve your relationship and probably provide a closeness between you and your partner. If it's your job that you're not happy about, try to change it. Look for different options. Apply to different jobs while you're still doing that job. If you feel trapped and you feel like you can't change your job, find a passion. Find something you're passionate about and every day work towards that passion. Work at getting good at it. A passion doesn't need to be something you make money from. It can be something that you totally enjoy, that provides a lot of happiness, and working to improve that passion will give you a goal as you'll get better and better. My speech today for you guys is that whenever you feel stuck in life, whenever you feel like there's no other options for you, understand that you're not alone. Everybody will go through stuff in life, and there's always someone that has the solution to your problem. You just have to reach out and ask. We often believe that there's no options for our problems, and that's not the case. Don't be afraid to talk. If you have insurance companies and you work for a company that provides all sort of service, use them. Go talk to a psychologist. Talk to your boss about what you're going through, and they'll help you find solution for sure. Or at least for me, in my case, that's what it was, and I was totally grateful for it. So go out there and live the life the way you want. Make the most of it. Don't dwell on the past. Don't dwell on things that didn't go right. Learn from your bad experiences. Turn them into positive experience. Don't think too much about the future. Don't have anxiety about what your future might be. Live in the moment and enjoy it to the fullest, because you never know when it's gonna be your last.